The day Sarah and her husband Tom moved into Hillcrest Manor, they had no idea what they were getting themselves into. The stately old house was built in the late 1800s and was filled with vintage charm, but it didn't take long for strange and unusual occurrences to start happening. At first, it was little things like doors closing on their own or the sound of footsteps in the hallway when no one was there. They wrote it off as just the quirks of an old house, but soon the occurrences became more frequent and more ominous. One night, Sarah woke up to find a shadowy figure standing at the foot of their bed. She screamed, waking Tom, who turned on the light, but the figure was gone. They searched the house, but found no one. The next night, they heard strange chanting coming from the basement, but when they went to investigate, they found nothing. As the days passed, the occurrences became more terrifying. Objects would move on their own, voices whispered in their ears, and they began to see the shadowy figure more often. They tried to leave the house, but every time they tried to step outside, they found themselves back inside. It was as if the house had a hold on them. They sought the help of a local priest who came to bless the house, but his efforts only seemed to anger the entity within. The occurrences became more frequent and more violent. Furniture was thrown across the room, doors were ripped off their hinges, and Sarah and Tom were physically attacked. Desperate for help, they reached out to a team of paranormal investigators. The team arrived with cameras, recorders, and other equipment to document the activity. They set up their equipment throughout the house and began their investigation. As they walked through the house, they heard strange noises and captured images of the shadowy figure on camera. They played back the recordings and heard voices and chanting that were not there during their investigation. The team determined that the house was indeed haunted by a malevolent entity, but they were not equipped to handle it. They referred Sarah and Tom to a team of experienced demonologists who could help them. The demonologists arrived and performed a ritual to banish the entity from the house. The ritual was intense, and Sarah and Tom were terrified as they heard screams and felt the ground shake. But when it was over, the house was quiet, and the entity was gone. Sarah and Tom left Hillcrest Manor that night, never to return. They still have nightmares about the haunting, but they are grateful for the experience. They know that they are lucky to have survived, and they are more cautious now when it comes to choosing a home. The experience changed their lives, and they now have a newfound respect for the paranormal. They know that there are things in this world that we cannot explain, and they are grateful for the opportunity to have witnessed it firsthand.